Hello and welcome to episode 11 of season 2 of the Failsafe Fitness podcast. My name is Michael Joshua. I am the owner and director of Failsafe Fitness Limited. And if you're looking for fitness, nutrition and weight management and golf performance tips, then you're in the right place. It's going to be an interesting show this week. We're dealing with a pretty serious issue that can happen with your nutrition. We're also going into an exercise that can not just help athletes but help the everyday person gain better strength in their legs and better coordination overall. And of course we're into episode 3 of the Breaking 100 as a golfer, and it's all going to be about approach play this week. So welcome to the show. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for all the kind comments over the recent weeks. And also don't forget, we are going to do a Your Questions Answered episode again. So in 2 weeks' time, Your Questions Answered. Email is in the show notes description. It is failsafefitness@hotmail.com. I nearly said ha ha ha. I can't even speak today. So failsafefitness@hotmail.com. Send, entitle it Your Questions Answered, whether that be on fitness, nutrition, training, exercises, whatever it is, golf. Send it over. The top 3 from each of those categories, so golf, nutrition and exercise. The top 3 questions I will correlate and then give you the answers in episode 13 of season 2. We will be doing that. So the top 9 questions asked, I will be giving you the answers. Cracking straight into the show this week then. It's been a wonderful week for golf, to be fair. It's been absolutely beautiful here in the UK. We've had a couple of dry spots appear on the greens at Himley, but we've dealt with those and they're running lovely now. I've caught the sunshine and my arm is a hell of a lot better. Still a little bit of bruising, and considering I nearly broke it just over a week and a half ago. Falling in the bath. So remember people, rubber duckies, put both feet on your rubber duckies. I don't ever want to be doing that again. I feel quite embarrassed actually. 45 years of age, falling over in the shower, but hey, it's one of those things. So I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling pretty good. I shot 43 in the comp this week, and I've got my Dudley Cup to come. So it's going to be interesting to see how I play. Clients wise, short game Sundays was a little quiet this week, but it was still pretty good. I think the guys that came had some fun. I think they enjoyed themselves. They've learned a little bit about their game, and they learned a little bit about the way I operate as well. It's been an interesting week in terms of nutrition and weight management clients. My clients that I've had since January, it's their last week this week, well next week. It's their last week and they've all smashed their goals. They've all got to the weight they wanted to accomplish when they started. They'd already done that the week before, so they're a little bit less than what they wanted, that they asked for, so which is great. They're certainly a lot fitter than what they were when they started 6 months ago, so it's been a fantastic journey with them. We'll see if they do continue on. I know at least a couple of them are looking at continuing on until midsummer, probably the end of July, beginning of July, mid-July, before the summer holidays start, just to tick a few extra boxes for when they go away. Golf clients been fun. I've had a couple of new clients this week. It's been challenging. So one thing as a performance coach of any sort, I mean fitness in general, you get all different types of clients, different types of ages and abilities, and some people learn very visually, so by watching what you're doing. Some people like to see a how it feels, how to do things, and others just like to be put into those positions. So, and I've had a couple of clients this week where I've had to kind of say, well, look, you need to be here and you need to be there. And then I've had a client this week where I've hit them a shot, I've showed them a position, and they've nailed it straight away. So being able to deliver as a coach and seeing how people are improving, both from the fitness side and the golf side, is very satisfying. And it's been a good week. Business is picking up. Promotions are still on as well. We'll get into those a little bit later on. But absolutely fantastic. It's been a great week. Weather's been good. And this heat wave over the next few days in the UK means I'm going to be able to get some good golf in myself. So brilliant, superb. We'll crack into your exercise tip this week, quite early in the show. So you may have seen from the title of the show. So you've got split squats, binge eating, and break 100 part 3. It's been an interesting week, and a few clients, both fitness side and golf side, I've found this exercise, which is the Bulgarian split squat. Everybody knows about it, but not a lot of people do it. A few people try it, don't like it, or they don't get the mechanics right. It's very much a kind of a feel-based exercise. Some people have their rear leg too high. Some people have it too low. Some people don't go wide enough. Some people are too wide. So it's very much a feeling-based exercise. So imagine a front squat, but your one foot is off the floor. A front lunge. Sorry, front squat. I've lost the plot this week. The heat's got to me finally. But it's basically a front lunge, but you don't lunge. You kind of dip with that leg that's on the floor, and the other one is held up either by a bench or some weight plates or a band or whatever. And the Bulgarian split squat is an absolutely fantastic exercise for building muscle. I mean, I was so surprised that I hadn't done them for a while, and when I gave them a go the other day, I was absolutely trashed. Quads, hamstrings, they were just done. But, you know, with the rear foot elevated, and this is going back into the training that I spoke about a couple of weeks ago, so unilateral training. So basically it's forcing you to target one leg at a time. So it's going to help correct any imbalances in terms of strength, and it'll expose them and fix them as well. So the unilateral training is you train left arm overhead press, right arm overhead press with a dumbbell, curls, tricep extensions. You can do the Bulgarian split squat. You can do single leg deadlifts, things like that, which will single leg step ups as well. And the Bulgarian split squat incorporates quite a lot of those. And it'll basically fix a lot of imbalances, and it does catch a lot of people out. I mean, in comparison to a front lunge where you can, that initial sort of stress on the knee, if you have had knee problems, can be very loading and can be quite damaging to a knee. There is a bit more stress on the lower back, I will admit that. I think if you do have a lower back issue, then maybe this isn't such a great exercise. But the Bulgarian split squat largely removes the back from a problem. So when you're doing lunges and front squats and things like that, the lower back puts everything under a lot of stress. whereas the Bulgarian split squat takes the lower back out of it. You can load with kettlebells or dumbbells or just use your body weight. So you don't have to put any excess stress on your lower back during the Bulgarian split squat. It's very back friendly. Unlike, traditional squats front and back, people tend to round their spines or have the chest up, putting that lower part of your back in a bit of a strange position. I mean, similar to a lunge, they're both very dynamic exercises, but the Bulgarian split squat demands more of one leg at a time. So it gives you the opportunity to create a more balanced and weed out any deficiencies in one leg or the other. And you can build, some pretty big muscles. So quads, hamstrings, and your glutes are all going to fire during this. And depending on where you put your foot, depends on whether you're working your hamstrings more, your quads more, or you're firing your glutes. But it is definitely going to hit your quads a little bit more than either of the others. But they are a great exercise, and I think if you want to weed out any imbalances and make your legs stronger, make them bigger, being able to hit a golf ball farther or jump faster or run or pick heavier weight up, then the Bulgarian split squat for me is a very, very decent exercise, and you should all incorporate it in your training for at least 3 or 4 weeks and just see how you get on, see what differences. Sometimes if you're struggling to change a squat dynamic, whether it be front or back squat, then doing 4 weeks of these and a lighter back or front squat incorporation or as a superset, these can definitely make a big difference to your legs if you're struggling. And that, ladies and gents, is your exercise of the week, the Bulgarian split squat. There's plenty of info out there. There's plenty of videos on YouTube about them. Go put them in your program. Let me know how you get on. And trust me, they will make a big difference. And they will show you the differences between both of your legs if you do have any imbalances. Time for our first promo of the week. And as you all know, I'm golf performance coach at Himley Hall Golf Centre in the West Midlands. And every Sunday, 11 a.m, £5 a head, I'm teaching one simple tip every week to help you be better inside 50 yards. I've already taught the dead hand wedge that Jason Day uses. Last week we did little short high chips, so things that need to cover or ways you can get around if there's a bunker between you and the flag and you've only got about 5 or 10 yards. And I gave the clients that turned up a couple of options. You can either go over that with a confident pitch, a little bit of high loft, and standing up on the toe, hit it like a big putt. Make sure you hit it hard enough so you can carry that obstacle and it's going to stop quite quickly. Or you can go for the simple bump around the bunker to the nearest side of the green, and instead of you chipping it into the bunker, you're taking the bunker completely out of play. This week's going to be a 30 to 50 yard approach shots, so you've got to hit the green from there, to be fair. So if you do want to come and learn a little bit more how your game plays and a few more things, it's £5 a head, 11 a.m. every Sunday morning. Come and join me and let's make your short game as good as it can be. Moving into the nutrition tip of the week. Now this is going to get a little bit serious. And it's something that I personally do struggle with, and I have struggled with and still are struggling with. And it's basically binge eating. Most people occasionally eat too much. They may fill up an extra plate with seconds at special events. We all enjoy another piece of cake or another piece of cheesecake out the fridge as a dessert, or we enjoy a little bit too much from the buffet on holiday, etc., etc. But for some people, including myself, overeating does become a bit excessive, and it crosses the line from an occasional indulgence to basically a binge eating disorder. And it's something that I personally do struggle with on a day-to-day basis, since not being in the gym active, during my first marriage, and not being physically active for about 10, 12 years before I got back into this industry. I just took my eating as emotional, and it can be very emotional eating. Binge eating disorders vary from the kind of minor end, where you are just like overeating and you eat emotionally, and there's something going on in your life where you come home, you'll drink a few beers, or you'll have a massive, you'll eat a whole box of Krispy Kreme donuts because you're feeling upset or sad about something. And then you go into the likes of the serious ones like bulimia, anorexia. These people severely restrict the amount of food that they eat, often to the point of near starvation. They still think that they're fat. With bulimia, they tend to binge on food and then purge it. And I don't have that. I'm more of an emotional eater, and I have been for probably 20 years. And during the pandemic, and certainly when I started doing what I'm doing now, professionally as a greenkeeper and all that, and I do have moments where, and I catch myself going, well, no, I'm not going to have that extra bag of crisps, I'm not going to have that chocolate bar. I'll go and grab myself a protein shake, just because I know it's not necessarily, I don't necessarily want something, but something will satisfy the craving. So by having a protein shake or a protein bar, at least I'm getting something that's of reasonable quality, a little bit less sugar, and there's not a lot of crap, or not as much crap in it, to stop me from getting bigger than what I am. I mean, at one point I was probably 20, 21, 22 stones. I'm down to about 17 now. I got down to 15, and then I put a couple of stone on over the pandemic. So I'd stopped. I was about to go into a gym and give them a lot of money to go and work as a PT, a strength and conditioning coach. And then obviously pandemic shut them all down, and I found other revenue via the golf course as a, doing this, that and the other, and being a handicap secretary, and the opportunity came along to be a greenkeeper. And so at 45, I'm learning new skills as a greenkeeper. I'm learning new skills as golf coaching, but the performance coaching that I do and I'm delivering so far is working, and that leads to me wanting to eat healthier. And obviously the two ends of bulimia and of course anorexia are absolutely serious disorders, and some people don't realize they're in that moment until they tend to hide themselves away a little bit. They don't want to be out in public, they don't want to be seen eating, and binge eating disorders are more common in women than men. I'm one of the rare cases where I know I have a problem, and I've admitted that, and I'm dealing with my situations. But people of any age can have a binge eating disorder as well. So it is most common in the world of social media these days. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all those things put a lot of pressure on particularly younger people. and people who are underweight or overweight have, you can have rose tinted glasses and be overweight. I think I'm definitely one of those people who doesn't see myself as big as I think I am, and I know I'm bigger than I think I am. But I'm also still pretty strong and fit and healthy, so I know where my lines are, and I know the things I need to change. So I'm already in the process of dealing with it. But some people who have an eating disorder have a long history of either eating unhealthily or bad dieting. They tried and failed every diet under the sun, whatever it may be. Then they have a poor body image, and my poor body image is the fact that I have those rose tinted glasses of being quite large, or on the larger side. I do joke about it, and I'm a fitness coach and a nutrition coach, and I'm not exactly a small guy, and I'm like, well, okay, yeah, but there are reasons for that, and when I open up to my clients, this is the reason why, and I want to be very relatable in that. And this is one of the reasons why I started this podcast, is that not everybody who's a strength and conditioning coach, and not everybody who's a personal trainer or whatever is going to look like a supermodel, is going to look like someone of men's health or women's health. The world is changing, and some of those guys who are strong men and strong women around the world are absolutely massively huge. I mean, the format for that is changing as well. So more muscular, physically strong guys, where some of the guys just used to put a lot of weight on because that weight would help them lift more weight. And that, again, a lot of big strong men and women out there have or do develop eating disorders because they're so used to having 10, 12, 15,000 calories a day, and then when they're not training or they're injured, they can't have that, and then they go one extreme to the other. They'll either continue to eat that and then just lose their muscle because they're not able to train, or they will severely restrict it and lose their muscle anyway because they're not getting enough calories in to sustain what they already have in their system. And that restricting calories and specific foods, and then in my case, I do tend to get triggered to binge eat. So, stressful day, argument with a family member, business isn't quite as good as I want it to be, I'm upset about a client being upset about their results, etc., etc. It can lead to me making decisions that aren't best for my health, and I get it. And eating disorders are very difficult to overcome, and I know I'm in the process of doing so. And I know there are a lot of people out there who need to hear this, that there are people out there who can help you, whether it be counselling or someone like myself who's a nutrition and management coach can give you some advice, can help you get through it. And, if you do need any of that, then get in touch. I'm sure I'll be able to point you in the right direction at some point. But binge eating disorders are mainly distinguished by a regular occurrence of eating more food than most people will consume in a normal situation. So eating, like, you go to KFC and you normally have like a chicken sandwich and some fries, but you're having a whole bucket to yourself. That's a very specific, you're going to eat all that to yourself, feeling that eating behavior is out of control, eating when full and not hungry, eating rapidly during binged episodes. So basically you're just stuffing, you haven't finished chewing one piece of chocolate and you're already putting another one in. Eating until you're uncomfortably full is another one. Frequently eating, in secret. I did have a client in the past where They were trying to gain some muscle. They weren't particularly large, but it turned out they were actually bulimic. So they would eat, but they would purge, and we eventually had to have a conversation about food, because they'd been coming for about two months. They'd signed up for a 3-month program, and they weren't really gaining a lot of muscle. They'd lost a little bit of weight, but they wanted to bulk up, and it was a difficult. We built a rapport. We understood, what was going on, and then we did a food diary a couple of times in that 3 months, couple of months, and I could tell the food diary wasn't exactly true to life. So we had a conversation, and they were actually purging. They were hiding food, and with the help and a colleague of mine and a friend and a GP as well, we managed to get them on the right track, and we did get them. They moved areas, but as far as we're still in touch, as far as I'm aware, they're doing well. She has a family now. They're very, very happy and very healthy, which is always good to hear. But binge eating on my side has led to an obesity issue. Joints problems, heart disease, type 2 diabetes. I've been on the borderline of type 2 for a while. That's come down now with the more exercise I'm getting. I'm back in the gym. I'm back playing more golf. I'm enjoying being a coach. So, it's not just you going through this, or anyone who's listening to this who has or thinks they may have any of these symptoms, anxiety, depression, substance abuse or disorders, being controlling over what you're eating and what you're drinking all the time. Take a look at it. If you need help, then someone like me is here. Speak to your GP. There are somewhere that you can go and get yourself some therapy, and we can get you working to a better you. Overcoming an eating disorder is a massive challenge, and I've been on this road for, I'm going to say, at least 5 years, 5 or 6 years. I knew I had a problem. I knew I was overweight in 2012, so it's a decade ago. I decided to go and educate myself at college, got my level, my gym instructor and my personal trainer qualifications. They got the nutrition and weight management qualifications, and then this and that and massage, and I wanted to be able to take care of me for primarily. And then over that period, I dropped down again, and then I got healthier, and I've lost 5 stone in 10 years. It was nearly 8 stone in 10 years, but I put a couple of stone back on during the pandemic with all the stress, and the binge eating came back, and I'm dealing with that every day. So, overcoming a disorder is a massive challenge, because you can't avoid food or social situations. And your body needs food to survive and thrive. One of the things that's talked about is you need protein, you need fats, you need carbs to absorb all the vitamins and minerals. And if you're purging, you're not going to be getting or absorbing any of that. And recovery is possible. I've seen it, I know it, and I'm on the road to recovery. Treatment needs to address, the emotions tied to the binging, including, shame and poor self-image. Relapses are very likely, and with professional help, a combination of cognitive behavioral therapy and maybe some medications can help people cope with certain triggers, negative body image, and the depression that comes along with the binge eating, the feeling guilt of eating a whole cake or eating a whole box of Krispy Kreme, or eating a whole big block of chocolate, whatever. These treatments can regain a sense. With these treatments, I know myself, I've gained a sense of control over those behaviours and improved the stress management skills. And I'm getting there. And I know everybody out there who needs to hear this, you can get there too. At the same time, dietitian can work with you to reframe your relationship with food, which is something that I'm still working on. I am trying to work on my relationship with food, trying to eat a little bit better. Undertaking to beat eating disorders, but full recovery is definitely possible. And if you are concerned, speak to your GP, speak to one of your loved ones, speak to myself, and we can help you, point you in the right direction. And that's my nutrition tip of the week for this week, because I just feel people out there need to hear that there are eating disorders. There are people who just need to hear someone else talk about their issues. And if you are one of those people, don't afraid to get in touch. I will point you in the right direction and help you on the way to recovery. And with that out the way, we are going to look at the blog for this week. So, talking on the subject of food, I have 5 tips how to make the most out of your training. So, nutrition tips that are going to help you, eat healthy breakfasts, size of your food, snacking well, eating after you exercise, and obviously, most important that a lot of people don't do is drink enough fluids during the day, water during the day, to help your body recover. So there's 5 tips on the website that are going to help you maximize your food nutrition whilst you are training. So go and check the blog out. Link is in the description of the show notes. Apologies, we seem to have someone in and out the house. New system is working though, so at least the cameras are working, so I do apologise for that. Moving on to promo number 2 for this week. So 3 for 2 is still on. 3 for 2 is till the 1st of July. All sessions, whether it be personal training, nutrition and weight management, or golf performance, they're all available. 3 for 2. Come and join me. It's going to be an interesting one. $9 for 6 as a maximum is going to be the limit. You get 90 days, so you can have one every 10 days if you wish, or you can use them all in a week. Choice is yours. But the 3 for 2 promotion is on, and it's payable up front for the 3 for 2. You can book your first session with me either via email or online, and then we can discuss the 3 for 2, and we can sort yourself out from there after that first session. So get yourselves online, get yourself booked in. There are a couple of my welcome packs available for the golf performance. So if you do want yourselves a nice little pen and pitch mark repairer and ball marker, then there are a couple of those left if you do want to come and join me. Speaking of golf, breaking 100. So we discussed hitting off the tee knowing your miss. We've discussed hitting either a smaller wood or a driving iron off the tee so it doesn't go as far out of bounds. And this week is going to be a couple of tips on basically your approach play. I mean, Annika Sorenstam, if you're a golfer out there, She's one of the most successful female golfers ever. She's averaged through her career 8 out of 10 fairways and 8 out of 10 greens in a round. So, that's her average. She averages 8 out of 10 fairways and greens in a round. And if you're going to hit that many fairways, which is, and greens in a round, you're going to give yourself an opportunity to score pretty well. So, what I'm suggesting is this week when you're out playing, this weekend, next weekend, whenever it is you're out playing, is that a lot of players tend to come up very short. I mean, Arcos data and shot scope data all come out with the stats that, this handicap, that handicap, all come up massively short. Tour pros are very rarely short, probably 1%. Then you've got, the scratch players probably come short 5 or 6%. And then you're looking at it that substantially every 5, so 5, 10, 15, 20 handicappers come up, 30, 40, 50% short every time on the greens as they go up through those numbers. So a little thought for you: if you're one of those people who's constantly short, stop taking the middle number, or stop looking at that middle number and going, oh, it's 120 yards to the middle, but the flag's at the front, the front's 110 and the flag's in between, so I'm going to hit a pitching wedge at 115, so I'm going to hit a pitching wedge or a 9-iron, and you're still 5 yards short of the green. No. What I want you to do this weekend, if you are one of these people who are constantly short of your target, is I want you to take the back number of that green and hit that shot. And trust me, if you don't hit 3 more greens in 18 holes because of this tip, then I'll give you a lesson online or otherwise for free. So for the next week, if you get in touch and you tell me that I haven't hit this many greens, or I haven't hit 3 more greens because you've taken the back number, and I'm not taking that you've topped it or you've shanked it or whatever, but if you don't at least get it, pin high on 3 greens because you've hit it to the back number, not the front one, or not to the middle of the green, then I will basically give you a free lesson. So that's your first tip on your approach play, is hit the back number, not the middle. And the second tip is when you're going into greens, most of us club golfers will play the same course over and over and over again. You're looking somewhere between 30 and 60 times, if not 60 to 100 times in a single year. Especially if you're retired and you love your golf and you spend, a couple of days a week playing. So you're getting at least 36 holes in. So you know your golf course very well. And like for me, I know at the 5th at Himley Hall Golf Centre, the 5th is uphill. So the tee shot's quite hard. You've got to be able to carry about 170 to I think it's 165 to 180 off the tee to carry the hill. If you don't, it's back down the hill. You've got 230, 240 into the green. And then whilst you're going into the green, you're having to consider the fact that the fairway slopes from right to left, and then there's a drop off that slopes right to left, and the green's flat underneath. So if I aim about for the front part of that green, whatever the front yardage is, I can take that front yardage and hit a club more. So if I say it's 105 yards, which is probably a nice steady pitching wedge, I'll hit a 9-iron and I can land it on the green. But if I hit the pitching wedge, because there's a hill at the front and it slopes right to left, if I can land it in that corner, the ball will roll onto the green. So if the flag is at the front of that green, I can land it short, let it roll down that hill, and it will be on the front of the green. If it's on the middle of the green, I'm going to have to hit a 9 iron, and I'm going to have to land it on the front of the green. I'm going to have to cover that front yardage. So if you get what I'm saying, you need to be able to read the lies into your greens. If you can roll it up, like I said, I have two options into that green. I can hit it short and let it roll down the little slope onto the green, or I can take an extra club and hit it and land it on the front of the green and hope it stops. And that green tends to get very hard, so 9 times out of 10 I want to land it short and let it roll on, irrespective of where the flag is. Because again, it's quite a tough shot. I just want to hit the green. I don't care where the flag is. So you all know your courses out there. You all know there's a hole that you need to cover a front bunker or a bit of water. You've all got a hole that the actual green's above you, so you're going to have to hit more club anyway. Or you've all got a hole where the green's below you, so you're going to have to hit it club less. So take that into account on your approach play. Does it slope left to right, front to back, right to left, back to front? A few greens are designed so they're back to front, so you can hit it in there, and if you are a reasonably good player, you can land it soft at the back of the green and let it roll back to the front. So take that into account when you're playing your approach play. Write them down. If you've played at a golf course for 3 years and you're still going, well, I don't know where to hit it, then write them down. Does the fairway slope into the green? Does the green slope away from the fairway? And things like that, so you'll know whether to hit more club, less club, land it short, let it roll up, land it short, let it roll down, etc, etc. Take your pick. Pick your poison, and trust me, you will hit more greens. So that's your approach play tips for this week. Read the slope into greens with the fairways and the way the greens are at your golf course, and of course play the back number of that green. If you're always coming up short, when you look at your yardage book or look at your watch or whatever you're using, your GPS device, take your yardage as the back number and hit that. So if you are 10, 15 yards short all the time, you're going to be on the middle of that green. You're welcome. And that's pretty much all we've got time for this week. Thank you very much for listening. I hope, again, you find the Bulgarian split squat very satisfying to do, and you put that into your training. Let me know how you get on. Build those quads and those hamstrings up. If you do have a problem in terms of binge eating, don't be afraid to get in touch. Speak to someone you're close to. There's always someone there that's going to help you. And fortunately, I have some very good people in my life who help me through my issues and through my problems. And slowly but surely, I'm not, saying it's going to be, I'm over the fence and in the clear already. It's a very long process. I've been battling this for probably close to 15 years. So putting something out there and putting myself out there, I hope that someone will hear it. There is someone else in the same situation as you who's binge eating, overeating, and doesn't feel very proud of it. But there are steps you can do to make it better and get better. And of course, golf, breaking 100. Take the back yardage if you're always coming up short. And of course, knowing how those greens react, whether they're front to back, left to right, up and down, taking the correct club into that green will help you hit that green better. Thank you very much for listening. I hope something in here this week has helped you with your golf game, or helped you go and speak to somebody about the way you treat your food and your relationship with food. I hope that the Bulgarian split squats will build your quads and your balance to unprecedented levels. Don't forget to go and take a look at the 5 nutrition tips to maximize your training. And of course, if you're a member of Himley or you want some personal training, 3 for 2 is on till the 1st of July. 3 of those, 9 for 6 is a maximum, all payable in advance. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you have a great week. Enjoy your golf, enjoy your training, and most of all, enjoy what you eat. Have a great week. See you later.